What's up everybody, Super fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2017 Chevrolet Cruze Hatchback. Huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevy for providing me with this very nice Cruze Hatchback to review for you guys today. So about the Cruze Hatchback, well, it's the first time the Cruze has ever been offered in a hatchback here in the States, and I think it looks really cool. Of course, this one is the LT package, and it also has the RS appearance package, which really makes it look sharp here and continues with the current Cruze's really sharp looks there. They're inspired by the Volt a little bit, I think. Really sharp headlights there. I love the way they look. The nice LED accents look great as well. And I like the chrome accents you have as well. And this orange burst metallic color, it looks really nice too. It's definitely orange, not brown, but it looks great. And I also love the way that they did the hatch there in the rear. You know, it's not super boxy like some of the other competitors. It's got a nice flowing line to it there, and it still is a very usable and versatile hatchback, but it's just a little bit more of a sexy form factor than the typical hatchback. And overall, I think it actually looks pretty good. Right, for the interior of the 2017 Cruze Hatchback, well, it's a lot of the same that you see in the standard Cruze sedan. Anyway, the first things first, sitting down in these seats, they're very nice soft cloth seats. Of course, now this isn't a sports car or anything, so they don't have super aggressive bolstering, but they are bolstered reasonably well. They'll fit all body types and still hold you in place pretty well. And they're also heated here in the LT trim as well, with the convenience package here, and overall pretty nice seats. Next to the steering wheel in the Cruze Hatchback, which is very nice, same as the standard Cruze, and it has a good 9.3 grip, nice little 10.2 notches. I like the chrome trim and the way the buttons are set up with your volume and tune controls on the back of the wheel. Makes it a lot less cluttered in the front here. The only thing I don't like about these Cruze steering wheels though is you don't get a leather wrap wheel unless you get the Premier trim, which you can't get with the manual. So if you want a manual transmission Cruze, you have to get this cheaper feeling wheel, which I mean, it's nicely rubberized a little bit. It's not super hard plastic, but I still just, leather wrap wheels are getting to be the norm these days, and so I really wish they would have included that. But otherwise, like I said, a good wheel still. Gauges in the Cruze, same as the sedan, your simple basic gauges, the four there. You have a nice little black and white display there in the middle as well, which gives you a digital speedometer, which is very nice to have, in addition to giving you some graphs there for your fuel economy and all kinds of other assorted information there that you can pull up on there. And so overall, a good amount of features there on that little screen, and good simple gauges, nothing overly exciting here, but looks good and works well. Coming over to the center of the dashboard here, this is where it's really top of its class, I think, because I love that Chevy has a standard 7-inch touchscreen in all models, which is really great because it allows you, all models have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is huge, and really one of the best in its segment as far as that stuff goes. And it's still, full color, high resolution, a very nice screen. It doesn't have to be enormous, it's just nice to have a touchscreen nonetheless. And, navigating through the radio and all that kind of stuff is very simple. No tune knobs still, just a volume knob. You have to, go through the little buttons there to tune, which isn't ideal, but it's fine. And like I said, all the knobs, and actually the volume knob feels very high quality. All the buttons feel pretty good. While we're talking about buttons though, coming down to the climate controls here, you have some more nice buttons here, just a few, very uncluttered, very simple, and I really like that. You have a very nice feeling fan speed knob and temperature knobs as well that are rubberized and have a little bit of metal here as well. And actually it feels a little nicer than this price segment usually has, and so I think this is one place that really has an edge over some of the competition, because these materials are actually very nice. Once you get beneath the climate controls though, that's where you get into all the hard plastic in the interior, which you expect though in a car that, a compact car, very affordably priced. You can't have soft touch materials everywhere, but I do admire the fact that they decided to put nice soft cloth here on the passenger side of the dashboard, which is a really nice touch and really helps to warm up this interior a little bit, so it's not just all plastic. And I think that it actually helps it to look a little bit nicer. It's kind of similar to the Malibus and things like that, so it makes it feel a little more upmarket, and overall it's still a pretty nice interior. shifter in the Cruze hatchback with the manual here. It's a 6-speed unit. It has a very nice rose to it. Not overly sporty feeling, but it actually, I love the gears are nice and closely spaced, so I think it actually feels really good. One interesting thing I've never seen on a manual before is this car has a trigger to go up in reverse. It's kind of like a, you know, lockout ring, something like that, but you just lift up on it, pull the trigger, and then go over into the reverse position there. So just a little different there, but still, like I said, a really nice shifter actually. As far as storage space in the Cruze hatchback, it's pretty good. So you have map pockets here in the doors first off with a nice large bottle holder. Coming over to the center here, you have another little cubby that you also will find a USB jack, an auxiliary jack, and a power outlet in there. And those are the only of those jacks in this car. There aren't any additional USB or power outlets, but that's okay because it's nice to have them all right up front here. And so you have that. And then coming to the back, this is where it's a little more different because you do have the manual transmission here, which rearranges your cup holders, which used to be next to the shifter, which are now behind the shifter here. You have one, it's a little bit on the small side, but you have one, and you have a second one here that's kind of merged in with this rear cubby area. And, you know, like I said, they could be a little bit larger, but I think they should get the job done just fine with most American-sized drinks. And then you have the center armrest, which is very nicely padded. It's actually really soft and really well done there. And anyway, you open that up, and you have a very nice, fairly small, but very deep cubby there. And you can fit all kinds of things in there, but like I said, no additional hookups or anything in there, but still nice to have all that storage space. Backseat space in the Cruze hatchback is actually really good. I'm 5'9", me sitting behind myself, I still have probably easily 4 or 5 inches of legroom there, so very spacious. They were very creative with how they cut out a little bit of the back seat there so that you can, you know, have a little bit more legroom, even if you did have taller drivers and passengers up front here. And so a nice and roomy back seat actually, and there's also a full down little center armrest that also has additional cup holders there. And so overall, you know, a pretty roomy back seat. And, you know, with this hatchback, of course, you still have plenty of headroom as well. Trunk space in the Cruze hatchback is very good, of course, being the hatchback version. That's the whole point of it, right? It's more versatile. So you have a, you know, a pretty large opening there whenever you open up the hatch, and it's a pretty standard size space back there, you know, as far as hatchbacks go, about the same size as a Volkswagen Golf, those kind of things. And so it's a good amount of space, and those seats do fold flat nicely, so you can, you know, fold everything down there and have a very long cargo area there. And so overall, you know, it does add a nice bit of versatility there, but I still think that, you know, even the Cruze sedan has a pretty nicely sized trunk so that you can fit a lot of things in there as well. But for those that prefer the hatch, this is also a great option as well. All right, so start up and go for a drive. These new Chevys have this really nice heavy key fob here, and it just feels really great in your hands. Anyway, you just leave that in your pocket because this one has the convenience package, which has keyless entry and push button start, which is a very nice, it's only like an $850 package, totally worth it. Anyway, you just leave the key in your pocket then, hit the engine start button, and it starts right up. All right, so setting off in the 2017 Chevy Cruze hatchback with the manual here. So first thing you notice, well, like I said, aside from the reverse lockout being a little different, the other thing you notice right off the bat is the clutch, which is a fairly long throw for the clutch pedal, but it is still very easy with its catch point. It's very gradual, and you know, it's not hard to be smooth with it, but it is just certainly a longer throw than you'd be used to in something like a Camaro or something like that, which are all fairly short these days. So that's just the one difference. Another difference though, you know, you have great visibility here in the Cruze hatchback. An enormous windshield, nice large side windows, and view out of the hatch is great in the back as well. And just cruising at low speeds here, it's very quiet and actually very well behaved, very refined feeling. Now this one is riding on 16-inch wheels, which have 55 series tires, you know, 205 wide, and so very relaxed, you know, economy tires, which I think certainly help with making this feel nice and smooth for its ride, not overly sporty or anything. But I mean, it's pretty quiet. It's just very nice. And even this engine, whenever you're not, you know, getting on it, it's not too buzzy either. It's pretty quiet and subdued as well. So it actually feels, like I said, it's like, again, it feels nicer than its price category, really. Alrighty, so let's turn down onto the straight road here first and see how it does. And here we go. There we go. Second gear's a little slow. There we go. Alrighty, so the 2017 Cruze here has 153 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque from its 1.4 liter tiny little turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. And so these things will do 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds or so. You know, it's fairly light, under 3,000 pounds, but you know, not the most inspiring performance, you know. But then again, this is, you know, a little hatchback, supposed to be good on fuel, which is, you know, the main reason why people buy these. Little second gear pull. Yeah, see, it's got decent pull as long as you keep it in those upper RPM ranges, because this definitely relies heavily on that turbo. And so if you don't have it, you know, in the meat of the power band there, you can definitely catch it off guard where there's really not any power, and you just have to wait for that turbo to spool up, and then it spools up and really gets you moving. So it's not bad, you know, once like I said, you get in that meat of the power band. But it is kind of strange. The 1 to 2 shift definitely has a little bit of hiccups that you can't really slap it into second super fast. You kind of have to take your time with this transmission, unfortunately. But you know, once you figure it out and, you know, do it more often, I'm sure that it would get easier. But just, you know, starting off as a newbie here in this car, it's certainly, you have to take your time a little bit with second. All right, so now we're on a back road here. See how it does. Now this is a little bit of a rougher road, but it's still, the road noise is really not bad. It's very impressive. But as we tossed into some corners here, the first thing I notice is the steering is fairly numb. I wish there was more feeling to it, and it's pretty loose on center, and then once you get into it, then it loads up a little bit better there. And I remarked about the same thing in the sedan, and they haven't changed anything here with the manual hatch. I didn't expect them to, but it's just, yeah, not the best steering feel, honestly. But it does feel lightweight. I love all these GM cars have gone on a weight loss here, it seems, and it just only helps the handling. And so, you know, once you do pitch it into the corner there, it seems to hunker down and, you know, really hug the road nicely. But, you know, like I said, it's just, I wish there was a little more feel there through the steering. As we're leaning on the brakes here, they also feel very good. Got a little bit of travel to them, but they got a nice bite and feel really good. But yeah, as I'm just, you know, going around corners here in this thing, it does handle them very well. Once you kind of, you know, get used to the way that it reacts to everything, you kind of get into a groove with it, and you really can, you know, link it through these corners really nicely. And so I like the way that it handles. It handles very well, and it is very sporty. Now, it's no Fiesta ST or something like that, but this isn't a performance model. The RS package is just an appearance package, and I'm still hoping that they do some kind of performance-oriented version of the Cruze hatchback here, maybe with a, you know, faster engine, give it a, you know, stiffer suspension a little bit, you know, sharper steering. I think that would be amazing, because as it is, this is still, you know, just a standard Cruze in hatchback form with a manual, and I am still wishing there was a little bit of a sportier feeling to it than it has. But it still does feel very good, and for those that just, you know, want something, like I said, with good fuel economy, that, you know, has the good versatility and the fun of the manual, then this is still a great choice. Speaking about that fuel economy, though, the EPA estimates for this car are 28 in the city, 37 on the highway, for a combined average of 31, which is a few mpg off of the you know, normal automatic sedan Cruze here, and so I think a part of that is just because of the different gearings, and also maybe this is a little less aerodynamic than the sedan, I'm not sure. But you know, either way, it still is fantastic fuel economy, and you know, in my experience with these small little engines, you probably get even better fuel economy than the estimates suggest half the time. But yeah, I'm going around some more corners here though, and it does handle really well. You know, there's actually really hardly any body roll to it, you know, and I think that the little bit of lean that you do get is partially just because of these, you know, I guess fuel economy geared tires that are, you know, have the large sidewalls. I think if you swap tires and wheels on this, it would transform it and really give it that sharpness that, you know, enthusiasts might be looking for. Cruising at some higher speeds now on some less curvy roads. This is where, you know, it just, again, it's such a nice cruiser, very well done here, you know, by Chevy with just how refined it is, and you know, it just feels like a mini Malibu with, you know, the Malibu's refinement is very high now these days too, and this just feels very much the same, just in a smaller package. Still very quiet even here at the higher speeds. One thing I will say though is the throttle response is a little bit on the relaxed side as well, and so especially that goes with, you know, having the turbo and stuff, that, you know, you put your foot into it and then it starts doing something. So like it relies heavily on that turbo, but that's okay, you know, it just helps with the efficiency and whatnot. And but yeah, overall, like I said, I really like this little Cruze hatchback here, and I'm really happy that they're even offering this combo of the, you know, manual transmission with the hatch, and you know, the RS package makes it look really nice and things, and it's very affordably priced too. You know, these start around like 21, and this one with, you know, the inexpensive convenience package that has the keyless entry and push button start and all that stuff is only $850. This one, as tested, is right around 23,000, and you know, it's a really nice thing, and you get a lot more room than you would in something like a Fiesta. And honestly, I think you get more room than you do in a Golf or something like that. Especially the backseat space in these is really, I think, second to none. And so it's a really nice to have another option here, because like I said, you know, Chevy hasn't had an option in the small hatchback segment for a while, unless you wanted to go down to the Sonic. And I like that they're, you know, now offering the Cruze in a hatchback as well, and I think it's really great. And so yeah, if you're interested in one of these, my friends at Tom Henry Chevy have lots of them, so definitely check out the description below and give them a call and tell them I sent you, and they'd be more than happy to help you out. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the Cruze hatchback. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.